guys.
You guys.
We're here. This is like the dogs are here. We're all here.
The dogs are not out, but we're here.
Man. So, for those of you who are not watching on our real live cameras for our first ever video podcast at Staircase to Nowhere, we are live in the room in Louisville, Kentucky at Sam's address, which is...
Say it.
Julio.
Yeah, that's right. We're here. This has never happened before.
Never before have we recorded an episode.
How many episodes are we in?
This is episode 835.
Yeah, 835. I'm pretty sure.
And first time in person.
First time in person.
I've actually never seen these guys in real life before.
You know,
I thought it was just a disembodied head.
David, you're
Yeah.
taller than I thought.
Yeah.
You're more bearded.
Yes.
Yeah. Both of you guys have much longer torsos than I had than I.
And you own
remember.
pants.
Yeah, and you own pants. Yeah, but yeah, we're here in person at my house on my couch.
Wow. So, who are these people who are such great friends who are in person? I'm Noah. I'm a seminary student in
Not for
Atlanta,
long.
Georgia.
Not for long.
Not for long.
By the time this comes out, it could be... No.
Maybe
You
I'll
could
be
be.
graduated.
Probably not.
Maybe I'll
Probably
have
not.
a plan for my life.
Or I know the plans I have for you.
Yeah.
To graduate seminary.
So that's Noah. I'm Sam. I'm a homeowner here in Louisville, Kentucky. You guys are
You
my.
can vote. You can
Yeah, I
legally
can vote
vote.
here.
Vote
I'm a
for
property
Rachel,
owner.
What's her name?
Rachel
for...
Rourke for our district representative.
Did she
Shout
win?
out. She did.
Oh,
yes.
congrats.
Wow.
And she is door knocked twice. She's been to our house twice.
Whoa.
Door knocking. So well
Wow.
deserved.
You know
victory.
her.
You know
Know
a
her.
politician.
Know
Personally.
her.
You got her number?
No, she did not give out. She should have. Anyways, but that's me, and I do street outreach.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
I thought you were
yeah.
just a homeowner.
But-
Not as good as Rachel Rohr does.
Not as good as Rachel.
You also
Rourke.
don't have a homeowners association.
No
Oh.
HOA, man.
Oh.
Can't tie me down.
No,
David, that hurts. That
that
hurts.
does hurt.
Yeah.
Hey, neighbor. Hi, my name is David. And
Skibbity David. The Wrangler of boys, David.
that's my
Neal.
job. Honestly, yeah. Boy wrangler at Taylor's Universities.
No, Taylor's University.
Oh, is in
Malaysia.
Singapore? Yeah. So, yeah. Just Taylor University,
Taylor University.
in Indiana.
It's different.
The crossroads of college.
Yeah, two totally different things. Yeah. What are we doing here?
Well, it's just a bit of banter.
Just a what?
We're just loosening up, getting
Dude.
comfortable with each other. You
Yeah.
know, we're not used to seeing each other.
Yeah.
Being able to like reach over and
Yeah,
well, the
you-
funny thing is I can't reach either of you right now.
Yeah.
we have to stay separate enough.
What listeners don't realize when we're in person, we usually don't talk to each other. We usually avoid each other in rooms and stuff. Like
I
it's-
normally doom scroll Amazon Reels when I'm
yeah,
with them.
like our
Is it
wives.
real?
Do you not know about Amazon Reels?
Is it just trying to sell you?
Do you have your
stuff?
phone
Yeah.
on you?
Yeah.
Pull up Amazon. Do you
Yeah,
have
it
Amazon
has
app?
like a discover
I
section
don't
that's
want to look at that.
it's just
That's
like TikToks
crazy.
for products
It's
on
just
Amazon.
like buy this Ryobi. Like
yeah, Can you imagine getting sucked into anyways.
That's what David does apparently.
Amazon Reels.
Yeah, we're loosening up though. We're not here to teach you guys anything.
Mm-mm.
We're not here to like correct.
Wait,
your
real quick.
thinking.
That's a cool sticker.
Oh, this whole thing.
Wait,
you're
wrong
on the
sticker.
wrong
Wrong sticker.
This whole thing.
Yeah.
That's a cool sticker.
Sam, where'd you get that?
I purchased it from some really crafty boys.
Some independent
Some
businessmen.
independent entrepreneurs,
Small business owners.
some small business owners. Yeah, and you listener could own your very own Staircase to Nowhere sticker.
Wow.
Check our Instagram for details.
Well,
So, yeah.
we're too influencer right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is your ministry culture podcast, just a banter. So it's not going to be a deep one. It's going to be a fun one. And
Finn.
just to celebrate us being together in person, I got you guys gifts.
Stop.
I did.
Gifts.
I did.
Noah, you bought us gifts.
I bought you some little gifts. And so I have to get out of my microphone spot, so I won't be able to talk. But I got you 2 little Christmas gifts.
I love
Here, I
Christmas.
can hand them out if you want. Are they? Oh, okay. Thank you, Noah. That's good. Oh, it has my name.
I don't know if
on
you're
it.
going to get in the shot. Oh, you got in the shot. Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, it has my name on it.
Mine
it
has
smells
your
like
name
you.
on it too. Yeah.
It smells like me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
what is
what's
my
the-
smell, David?
Nice.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
It's Atlanta. All right, should
Smells
we?
like
Do we open it?
peaches
Now?
and peanuts and pine cones.
Yes, so I
It smells like a swing state.
I would love you guys to open them on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm doing it right into the microphone.
Yeah, because it's an audio medium.
It's video. Did we get the same book?
Oh, we got different books.
I gave you guys books. I gave you different
Oh, it's appropriate for my work.
And it's appropriate for mine, I'm assuming.
Nah, not really. But
Okay,
it's just
cool.
your life.
Centered
It's
Set
backwards.
Church.
It's backwards.
Discipleship and community without judgmentalism. Beautiful.
This is by Anthony Bradley. He's a professor of religious studies at the King's College in New York.
No,
This
that college closed, so that's not up to date.
This is by Mark Baker. Isn't he the PhD at Duke University, the professor of mission and theology?
How did you know? Did you read the back?
Yeah.
Duke did not close.
Okay, so you've read these books?
Okay.
Cover to cover?
No.
Wait, I didn't say what the name of my book was.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sam,
what's the name
David,
of
what book did I get you?
This is Heroic Fraternities, How College Men Can Save Universities and America.
Wow.
Those are some high stakes.
These are the high stakes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
Oh my God.
Hang tight, ladies and gentlemen. We've never done this.
I'll start
before.
reading. It starts with land acknowledgments. Oh, wait, no, just normal acknowledgments.
This is a Welcome to our audiobook podcast where we read aloud
Models of Manhood. The Benefit of Brotherhood.
exactly.
That's a deep cut reference.
Not for Daniel Morrison. Shout outs, my man.
Shout out Daniel, and I'm trying to think of other people that we know that have listened to this.
TJ Lopez,
Yep. And then some of my current students.
Caleb Harlan, Connor Scott.
There's a man outside. Sorry. I'm going to get easily distracted tonight.
Oh boy.
Today.
We're closing windows.
This morning. No, the light is nice in here.
Dude. Well, yeah, our first guest today is whoever shows up at my front door. Yeah.
I have ink on me.
How did that happen?
Oh my gosh, that book is hot off the presses.
Hot off the press.
I don't want to ruin
Excuse
your
our
couch.
technical difficulties. Noah's literally having to remount his microphone to the dining chair
Maybe,
that we
was it your handwriting? Did
we
I?
have a-
I don't think I've marked your couch. I think we're okay. Did you get any on you?
Maybe it was from my pen. It might
I
be
don't
from
know.
the book.
I'm
whatever.
gonna hope it's from the book.
All right, Noah.
All
why
right.
did you give us these
Story
books?
time.
So, all right, I'm going to start with David. So,
Okay.
David, I got you this book. It's called Heroic Fraternities, and I
Yes.
have not read it, but I want to, and I was going to read it actually before I gave it to you, but Rebecca said that's not fair.
How books
'cause it is
work?
a gift.
Oh,
So I
thank
need
you.
to give it to
Thank
you,
you, Rebecca.
pristine and new, which I did not do for Sam. That
Yeah.
book is used.
That looks so
I can
red.
tell.
Yeah.
So I haven't read it, but I listened to a podcast.
Which
That-
one? Staircase to Nowhere?
No, it was called the Aaron Wren Show, and I never listened to it before. But he talks about theology and masculinity, and he was having Anthony Bradley on, who's a professor, and Bradley has done a lot of research on fraternities, and so I was like, "Oh, David lives and leads a men's residence hall with hundreds of men that kind of consider themselves like fraternal sort of organizations."
Yes.
Without them being like, the national chapters.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But that's exactly what he talks about, like the good of what a fraternity can be,
Oh.
and like the need for male community for all of society.
Mm.
Like that our society and culture has really like lost like the good of like men's fraternity organizations and like
Yeah.
men's organizations. And he said like for the hopes of good reasons of like women in the workplace and of
Hmm.
more like integration, but there used to be these communities where very similar stage of life, like-minded men would gather like
Yeah.
after work
Yeah.
and be together and have this like third space where they could disconnect or reconnect with one another, like cooling down after work days, and just like find this kind of community with each other. And so that is kind of at its best what he thinks these fraternities and colleges are meant to be. But he talks about how like our culture right now doesn't have any good vision for
Ooh.
what
Like male community.
exactly
Yeah.
what male community can be. All that's talked about is don't be toxic masculinity.
Right, but we don't have a definition of what.
What
Positive.
good positive masculinity is. And so he's a theologian, and he's looking to the scriptures, and he's also like analyzed current like big state universities with college fraternal groups. And
Mhm.
so he comes up with kind of this like goal that he calls heroic fraternity. And so like a positive masculinity vision for brotherhood
That's
and
good.
for like being I don't know, getting to come
Yeah.
together to push each other to accomplish great things.
That's good.
And like how our world needs like men who are going to accomplish great things. And so,
That's good.
yeah, so
Look how thick the bibliography is.
he's
a
a
lot of
researcher. man.
Well researched.
Yeah. So
What a fella.
I'm interested, David, in kind of like what your experience is like leading groups of men that see themselves as fraternities. Like,
Yes.
what are some of the positives that you see, and what are some of the dangers and
That's like,
struggles that you deal with?
wow. Okay.
Don't forget this is live.
Yeah.
And everyone knows you work at Taylor's.
You're also on
University.
camera, so guard your
Oh,
facial expressions.
Taylor's in Malaysia.
Yeah, the Malaysian Taylor University. No, I think there's a reason that I picked to work in an all male dorm, right?
When you are a boy.
Leading cause. Sorry.
Because there is co-ed
Yeah.
opportunities, and I think there's something very valuable to common experiences and challenging experiences like that. And so, like, I think I don't know. I'm actually really excited to take a look at this, and I think it could be good for more. Like, after I read it, like, let my boss borrow it and think, like,
I have a question about this. Do you feel like there's a change in attitude between like when you went to Taylor and like thought about I'm joining this brotherhood or like what, joining this culture? Do you feel like there's a shift in like your incoming freshmen? Like, do they view it different? Like, because there's so much conversation about like not wanting to be toxic men, or like, is there like do you feel like there's an overcorrection in the culture, or how do you experience, like, do you experience these freshmen?
I think the
coming into
overcorrection is from the administration down instead of from the new students up. I think the new students, like, I've had people come to me like, hey, what was this floor like when you were here? Like, what we want to do old stuff, and like
Old stuff from 10 years ago. Come
right.
on.
We want to go back
some
to
antiques.
right. We want to go back to our roots. And I think the problem is, for most schools, administration is maybe nervous about certain things because
Terrible things have happened.
Yeah.
right. And I have a friend who he was in a frat in Western Kentucky University, and bad things happened at that frat. And so I understand why the administration would be apprehensive about things like that.
So it's almost like the freshmen are still coming in hungry.
Yes.
But like this is not like a shot at Taylor or anything, but like probably in general, the administrative staff is like, okay, how do we not create a culture that's toxic? And maybe there's like there's a lot of walking the line of like, how do we create community and foster like that camaraderie and stuff, while at the same time not fostering like toxic stuff or letting things get out of hand. And that's a tricky balance because the balance between out of hand and a really good time is very thin sometimes.
I actually just was interviewed in the school newspaper about
David.
meaningful pranks and things like that, because they're like, I think there needs to be room for pranks, but what I said is like, you need to find the line of like a good prank is one that does not cause harm or embarrassment or
lots of cleanup for
more work for people, right?
Yeah.
And so you need to be creative with your things like that. So one example I give all the time is one of my floors does a race inside the dorm. They do a 5K inside. It's not necessarily a prank, but it's a fun
thing,
a funny thing. And it's hilarious. They have Gatorade stations. They have, flags up, and they have bibs and everything. They go all out. That same floor also does a Thanksgiving Day parade in their hallway.
Oh
so
gosh.
fun.
So, that's the kind of stuff that draws people together.
Yeah.
And I think those are the necessary things. And so we want schools to create opportunities for people to have fun together and to be able to do meaningful things. And if you don't leave room for that, is when people can start to make stupid decisions.
They do less destructive things.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to be so top down as administration of like, we're telling you what to do, and you want to allow them to come up with fun ideas, the creativity that bubbles up from the grassroots.
Yeah.
But I think there's a fear of like, how do we like control their worst impulses? How do we protect them from making stupid choices that are going to harm others?
Right.
And like, there is the potential for great evil when you get people together. Right.
Well, and I feel like, and maybe ladies may be like, well, us too. But I feel like for guys, especially, there's like a necessity to like do things together. Like there's like there's something. I have a heart, like just this podcast, like is a thing. Like I don't
It's
know.
an activity we
It's
do
an activity
together
we
for
do.
our
Like, it's
friendship.
really hard. Like, I don't always have it's not always easy for me just to show up and just like in a room full of guys and just like, why don't you guys just like talk and connect? Like, that is like sometimes hard for me. But when I have like a common thing, I'm like, we're working on something or we're doing something or like we're putting our heads together, both of those things happen for me where I'm like, oh yeah, like if it's a project or if it's like something like this, there's just like that. I don't know. I think in those, especially guys communities, it's really helpful. Like if you don't want to like be a wet blanket on that stuff, because then it does make it harder, I think, for guys to create that community together. So that's cool. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, what'd you give me?
Sam, I got you a book called Centered Set Church. And it's talking about, like, I read this one a little further ago. So
Okay.
A little longer ago. So it's a little more fuzzy in my head. But it's all about discipleship and it's about community. But typically the way the churches like make their disciples is by drawing lines. And like think like a circle and there's a line drawn and this is the boundary, who's in, who's out.
Mhm.
You know? And so like we do this, we don't do this. Like the second you do that, you're out of the community. And basically what he's talking about in the book is how that focus gets everybody thinking all the time about the line. And like it's like the example of like dating. Like if the focus is don't have sex, then you're constantly thinking about, oh my gosh, how do I not have sex?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of like the focus of like honoring her as God's image bearer and as a sister in Christ and us growing together in him in our relationship towards a goal of discerning if this is marriage. So
Yeah.
like that's a much greater goal rather than don't have sex. And it kind of sounds like your book now that I'm thinking about it. Like we need like a goal that we're moving towards, this heroic fraternity idea rather than just the don't do the worst thing. And so basically he talks about church organizing it not by like the line of who's in, who's out, but by the cross in the center and like having the ideal of Jesus and who he is and like his actions and his character being the center of our church. And so then discipleship kind of looks more like, instead of just like the one-time decision to come inside and then like defend yourself against doing the bad stuff, it looks like an orientation to, am I in this action moving towards Jesus or away from Jesus? It's more about my direction that I'm going rather than like whether this action is good or bad. So it's like, in that sense, you're kind of applying like almost like a morality to even like Instagram scrolling. It's like it's not necessarily sinful, but like am me sitting here for 30 minutes when I haven't prayed today,
Yeah.
is that going to pull me closer to Jesus or away from Jesus? And I think of my discipleship with this book more in the sense of a direction. So like pointing closer to Jesus. So you can have like different dots. Oh, this is so visual medium. This is so nice.
I can do this.
You
Yeah.
can have the cross in the center, and you can have different dots, and like their closeness to Christ is like shown on the diagram by the dots. But there could be people who like are here on a dot closest to Jesus, close-ish to Jesus, but their direction is going the other way. So like that person, like they should kind of be afraid right now. Like they are like walking away from Jesus. They're walking away from holiness, away from his plan for their lives. And they can't just be like, well, I know that I prayed a prayer when I was 6, so I'm saved. Like that's not as much the focus as the endurance and perseverance of the faith. And so, whereas there could be someone who looks super far away from Jesus because their behaviors look very not what we're used to and not Christian. And yet like their heart posture and orientation is, I'm really trying and I really want to know him. And I'm really walking closer to him. So like it kind of gives you a different vision for the person who's been in church their whole life, but they are crusty and mean and don't want to tell anyone about Jesus and judge everybody, versus the person who looks really like rough and yet they just like have that desire to come to Christ.
So that's like Jesus's, when he's pointing at, I mean, it sounds like what's the example where he's like the Pharisee, and I think it's like the tax collector or whatever, like offering prayers, and the Pharisee's like has these very defined rules, and this is how I live out my faith. Is I say this, I don't say this, I do this, I don't do this. But then like and they're offering prayers in public, but then the tax collector is just like, "Woe is me, a sinner, I suck." But from the outside, everybody's like, who's this guy?"
Mhm.
But Jesus is like, "No, that's what I'm after. Is that character position, not so much the are you checking these boxes, like if our heart, like, is that's what the
Yeah,
book's getting at.
exactly. And it's talking about church leadership with that model.
Uh-oh.
So not just like for yourself and your personal discipleship, but how can you lead a whole group of people towards Christ in the center
Mm.
and not just like policing the boundaries.
Yeah.
And so talking about church membership and church discipline as like these really broad things, because it kind of every action has this opportunity to draw us closer to Christ or away from Christ. And so it needs a lot more accountability than just, did you sin this week? Like,
Yeah.
you're able to be more like, how do you think this action
Yeah.
is going towards our center, Jesus? Like,
Mhm.
can you see that bringing you closer to Jesus? I don't see that. I think that you're going the wrong direction
Mhm.
right now. And that's not what we're doing as a church.
Mhm.
And you're demonstrating that you don't want to be a part of this community.
Interesting.
So the people are actually opting out of church by their lack of
Mm.
following Christ, rather than us really having to draw the line on them and say, you are out.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
Wow.
thank you.
So we need to read it right now before the end of the pod.
Yeah.
So that we can
We'll
have-
be right back after this quick break.
Well, we read the books. And
Yeah. And here's what
We're
we
experts now.
think. We didn't get Noah anything.
I did.
You did?
No, you didn't.
I got you a hug.
Oh, boo.
thanks.
Boo. Those are free.
Ma-
I guess it did cost you to travel here.
Yeah.
I guess. So- well, I feel like we should have gotten you gifts, but we didn't.
That's okay. I've got a book that I've been reading.
Tell us about your book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should we go around and say what we're reading?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Right.
You want to go first, Sam?
Yes, I will. I can go first. I'm reading a book that is called Adam as Israel. Basically, the guy is arguing that Adam in Genesis 1-3 is a prototype for like the image of Israel and their exodus from the promised land, and like
Ooh.
Adam's exile from the garden is basically like a precursor to like prime the so it's kind of like it's almost like his thesis on these first 3 chapters of Genesis, and how like the Israelites would have read Adam's story as their story, as like this decision to like obey God's laws, and they
And stay in the
didn't.
land.
They were
Yeah.
exiled, and then God's ultimate plan to bring them back. And it's like this, so it's all Adam's story is ultimately the story of God's people as like an image for their exile and their redemption and stuff. So anyways, it's just kind of his like it's really, I'm like halfway into it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good. It's really interesting. I love that stuff. So that's what I'm reading, and it's definitely again it's like a dissertation, so it's like his
Very academic.
like the first 40% of the book was just him laying out his like methodology of like
Oh.
how he's researching. And I'm
I'm out.
like, yeah, I was like,
I think you're a Methodist, David.
I'm. So it was kind of a snooze fest for a little bit. So I'm just kind of getting into the meat
The
of
good
like why it
stuff.
matters. But yeah, so it's not the most like exhilarating book, but it's some like cool biblical study stuff that I'm reading right now.
Well,
Nice.
that definitely seems like a recurring theme in the scriptures.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
Obedience leads to exile, but God is gracious and brings us back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the gospel.
Yeah, totally. So it's just like this. It's just this treatment of like how Israel would have read, like how we're supposed to understand Adam as this image of what God is doing, and again how that keeps showing up and keeps showing up, keeps showing up. So
That's good.
David, are you reading anything right now?
I'm I don't know if I told you a while ago I decided I was going to read everything from Lewis and Tolkien.
Oh, when you read
Whoa.
the space.
So I've read the whole space trilogy. I've read probably half of all of Lewis's books.
That's cool.
So I've read the whole Narnia, Mere Christianity, Grief Observed, The Great Divorce,
Screw tape.
Screw Tape. So I'm trying to remember what else I have to do. Surprised by Joy, I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
And then right now I'm on my Tolkien kick.
Go.
So I have read The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, Unfinished Tales,
Oh.
and then I'm halfway through the Silmarillion.
Nice.
And then I brought with me his first book, which I didn't know this till I was researching it. It was a challenge by Lewis that they basically made a bet to each other. You need to write a book on space. You need to write a book on like antiquity or something like that.
Interesting.
And so Tolkien, the book is The Road or something like that, and it's like the fall of Numenor, which is
Fall of Numenor.
Oh, Fall of Numenor.
Sounds about right.
yeah. So, because what connected me to it is in the space trilogy, Lewis talks about Numenor.
Oh, they connected.
Oh,
their
that's
stories.
funny.
Yeah. So
That's so cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're buddies.
yeah. So my goal, I think by this time next year I could have both of their works all read. So
We're checking in this time next year.
Yep. Set,
This is
hey
your
Siri, set an alarm.
Yeah.
Okay, Google.
What are you reading?
Okay, so I'm doing a research project. Hopefully I'm done with it by the
nerd,
time.
nerd.
I'm graduating in like 3 weeks. So
Oh, this is not just for fun.
no, it's for school.
Even bigger nerd.
Not-
He's paying to be a nerd.
You're paying to do this?
True.
Go ahead.
So I'm doing this research project, and it's about a mission in North America, which of course I'm doing a research project about that.
Classic.
That's where we live.
That's where I live. That's where God has called me to do the Great Commission. And talking about funding streams. So basically, like,
Mm.
how do we pay for mission? Because like one of the biggest costs, and we've talked about this before, is paying pastors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so like Church Around the World,
That's like season 1 callback.
season 1 callback. Should we pay pastors?
Pay
Should
once.
pastors get paid? Churches around the world are moving so fast because they're just training up leaders who already have other jobs, and they are doing their jobs and pastoring.
Yeah.
But like, I now have 2 degrees in Christian ministry, and
Almost.
Almost.
and would really like to have a Christian ministry pay the bills job,
Yeah.
because I don't really have much other skills.
Yeah.
Um,
This is my thing. It's kind of what I do.
and there's a lot of people like that
Yeah.
out there. There's a lot of people that have.
There's a lot of baristas around here.
Oh no!
That is, I love you, seminary friends. I'm
But,
sorry.
Yeah, Louisville, like it's a place
Yeah,
that
there's
has
tons.
a big seminary.
Yeah, biggest seminary, tons of people that are like, what do I do with this now?
What do I do now with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but the book that I'm reading, that I found like that's been informing me a lot, is called "The Coming Revolution in Church Economics."
I love that. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's
Drop it in the show notes.
Oh yeah,
We'll drop all our books. Yeah.
exactly. They should all read them all. It's the Staircase to Nowhere syllabus.
Yeah.
So I should have just bought the book, but I went down to the Emory University Library, their theological library.
Oh,
which is beautiful.
Emory.
Gosh, yeah, you know, Methodist. Anyway, but the library's so good. They had this book, and it's by a pastor named Mark DeMoss, who is in Little Rock, Arkansas. He had been a youth pastor of a mega church in Little Rock suburbs, and it was bumping. Like the youth ministry had hundreds of kids. The church was like thriving, growing, paying staff. It was just very wealthy. But he kind of got to this point where he realized the only people of color in this church were the janitors.
Oh,
Yikes.
And he was like, this is really bad.
yeah.
Especially in a city like Little Rock, which is very diverse.
This is not good.
They found themselves in this wealthy enclave, and it was really only attracting one type of person. And so he felt called specifically to the lowest income zip code in Little Rock. And they went and planted a church, and they were able to renovate a Kmart eventually.
Love it.
And
Instead of a Spirit Halloween, it's a church going into
it's the Holy Spirit.
Ooh, Holy Spirit.
Halloween.
No, all year round. So he was, so he's had this experience. They've been doing this now, decades. And talking all about how they had to use alternative funding streams to do their ministry because the church wasn't able to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to reach this very low income area. They're trying to bless them and like reach them with the gospel. And like people who are not Christians are already not used to giving.
Yeah.
And so, okay, they're baby Christians. We're trying to disciple them into giving. But then like he found that they just didn't have much disposable income.
Hmm.
And it was really hard to get people to give more. And basically, he had to kind of come up with this like different funding streams. And his church has 3 like legal entities.
Hmm.
So very interesting to me.
Hmm.
But one is church, 501c3 nonprofit. They take donations. They own their building and stuff like that. One is a separate nonprofit charity that does all their like social justice work. Their
Sure.
like food pantry, their like housing programs, and like all that stuff. That's a separate entity so that it's allowed to receive federal funding.
Oh,
Interesting.
So
Nice.
they apply for grants. They received like an $800,000 grant for something with housing with single
Yeah.
moms
Sure.
that like a church isn't allowed to get.
Sure.
Yeah.
But because they're a separate entity, they were
They
able
were
to
do
get that, and they
Pay salaries with that. And
exactly and
Yeah.
able to hire caseworkers and whoever they needed to do to like help with this specific program,
Yeah.
which they kept as like a separate entity of the church, but it still meets in that same building.
Probably the same
yeah,
board
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know exactly how legally it all works.
Yeah.
He said that they have a lead pastor of the church, an executive director of their
Ministry or whatever,
nonprofit,
yeah.
and then they also have a for-profit business. And the for-profit business, their job is to
They're a spirit of Halloween. they convert once
Or
a
did they
year.
reopen a Kmart and they
Yeah.
so their job is to rent the space.
Oh, cool.
And so they rent the church building space for profit. And they also like create other entrepreneurial ventures to, he said, like fill abandoned buildings,
Yeah.
to reduce crime, to increase tax revenue for the county.
So still like socially minded, philanthropic, for-profit enterprise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all for the same mission, he said,
Yeah.
of the kingdom of God in their
in that
poorest
area in
zip
Arkansas.
code in Louisville. You know, and so they have
Little Rock.
You said,
Oh, my
I was
bad.
like, you just said Louisville. I was like, oh, cool.
No, they're not. We're
We
in
should-
Louisville.
We should have them here. Yeah.
No, they're not here. They're in Little Rock, Arkansas. But yeah, it's all the different ways they do it, but with the same mission.
Yeah.
And it's just to see the community improving both with the gospel and also just like socially, economically. And so really powerful work they've been doing there. And he's been kind of like a model of this work, and he's been teaching on it in different places. But he's talking about that it's not in the future in the US with the way the trends are right now.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be low income areas that can't afford to pay the bills with church tithes
Yes.
alone, that it's going to be other areas too. And there was this chart that I wanted to tell you guys about.
Is he on Amazon Reels?
Yeah, I found it on Amazon Reels. No, it's from the book. And it was 2000 to 2009. So those 10 years, the growth rate of evangelical churches based on the median household income of the church. Okay, so you got a church. It's what percent did this church grow or shrink based on the income of the people who make up the church.
Okay.
Okay. And there is a very clear correlation that for the churches that the median income of the church family was under $300,000, excuse me, not 300,000. That'd be a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I'm gonna start over. For the churches that the median income was under $30,000.
That's not a lot of money.
No, not a lot of money. But kind of hard to make it right now.
Yeah.
Anywhere in this country with a income like that. But the median income under 30,000, those churches for that decade declined by 4%.
Oh.
So those churches are not growing; they're struggling.
Yep.
And they're even declining.
Yep.
But on the far side of the scale, the churches that the median income was over $60,000, they grew by 17%.
Whoa.
So that's like good news that churches are growing, but
only specific types of churches.
Exactly. They're only growing among a specific demographic group that has the
means
right income
yeah.
to pay people probably
right
to do the work so that the church
to do
will
the outreach
grow.
To do the,
yeah, because there's been this trend of more Americans are going to larger churches.
Yeah,
there's the trend
that consolidation basically of like mega churches or large churches. Like I don't know, not like most of the time not by malice, but just purely by money. Like where the money is, they're like they're kind of absorbing smaller and medium sized churches around the area because they can't afford to pay people.
Yeah,
or
often
whatever.
like a family will choose to go to a larger church in town because they
Kids
have
ministry.
a good kids
Yeah.
ministry. They have a good youth group. They
Yep.
have the programs, a nice women's ministry, stuff like that they're interested in doing.
And they can afford to put those
That
events
the
on.
church can afford to do.
Yep.
And unfortunately, like maybe their grandparents, if they still live in that same area, were a part of a much smaller community that
Yeah.
was doing it more traditionally, low income or not like lower cost ministry, but not able to do all those kind of programs. And so we're seeing like these families that have the means end up in the same churches. And that like causes a real need for like the community like in Little Rock there and other lower income communities across the country that like need the gospel.
Right.
Like you can't just say we're only going to plant churches in places that can afford it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that's just bad.
Yeah.
You know, and these places often when they have less money, there's going to be more crime and there's going
Right.
to be more broken families.
But you look at the planting strategy of these big, you have to almost think of it as like venture capitalism.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's
Makes
what
sense.
most mega
Yeah.
church or church growth movements, it's very venture capitalist. I've looked at the inside of it. They look at the median growth. They look at the fastest growing areas and they look at all that data and this is a safe place to put a church. Let's plant it there.
Yeah. Much like how Chick-fil-A places.
Exactly.
I mean, like legit. I mean, it's like totally.
Chick-fil-A and Association of Related Churches always plant right next to each other.
Gosh.
That's
He's
so
just
funny.
calling out people.
Yeah. Is there a shopping mall? Is there access from the interstate? Like that's where we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, so that's like a way to plant a very specific type of church, but
Yep.
unfortunately that type of church isn't going to reach everyone.
Right.
And also unfortunately, I think that there's going to be less communities like that
Right.
because he is also talking about like the decrease in like the struggling of the American middle class and like how Americans are having less disposable income. One of the first things to go when they have less disposable income
Kids.
is charitable giving.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of the first things to go is charitable giving. They're not going to give. Also, there's just a generational shift that the like generation before World War II, their focus in giving was to an institution because they believe that like the institutions will change the world.
Yeah.
But millennials,
Don't believe that anymore.
we
Anti-institutionalism.
don't believe that.
Yeah.
No, we're anti-institutions, and you have to kind of convince millennials that our church is going to use the money wisely.
Yeah, we swear we're good people. Like we're not predators and toxic. Yeah, like I mean, it is an uphill battle for sure.
And so many millennials, even if they're Christians, even if they give, they're choosing to give to where they want to give, like their favorite nonprofits, rather than giving to the local church.
Yeah.
And like making that a commitment. And so you're seeing like the generational shift, you're seeing the income shift. And he talks about the rise in 2-income households in America.
Thinks dual income, no kids.
So he didn't even say necessarily whether or not they had kids, but just like the number of households in this country who both the husband and the wife are working now is so in 1960, 70% of families in the United States,
Single.
only the father was employed. And that was enough.
Yeah.
It was enough to live a middle-class life in this country and to buy a house.
That's crazy.
And that's a
go on
key distinction.
vacation.
That was enough money. Like you were making enough. Like, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. The cost of living was such.
The cost of living is such that one person could work
And
in
have a nice house.
factory or
Yeah.
something else.
Have a nice house. Have 2 cars. Go on vacation.
Yep.
And that's Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
And economics have shifted.
Yes. Yeah.
And, they're now here. This is even old. And I think he had an updated number. In 2012, the number of families that were dual income was 60%. And I think that he had an updated number. Let's see if I can find it. But it was
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Your information is no longer needed. Sorry, we're making no one nervous looking for a stat.
I'm getting hungry. I think we should go eat variety of meat.
We do have plans to go get some boy lunch.
What's boy lunch?
Bunch of lunch.
What kind of meat?
Okay.
Kangaroo.
He
Oh,
gave me
okay,
the
go ahead.
updated stat.
All right, you go ahead. You go ahead. Sorry.
So the updated stat is that today dual income households are 75 to 78%.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's not necessarily just like that people want to work.
They
Yeah,
have to
Most
work.
of these are you have to.
Yeah.
One income is not enough to be able to own a house or be able to have health insurance
Or
be
to
able
quote my dad, you get to.
Yeah.
Love you, Dad.
So, talking about like how families are now dual income, he's talking about the church should take on this
Dual income model.
dual income model as well.
Co-vocation.
So he talks about co-vocational, that like the church should be able to have multiple funding streams because our families have to have multiple funding streams.
Family
And to
God.
say,
That's an interesting argument.
Yeah.
to say that like you guys have to work multiple
So
jobs,
we should
2.5
too.
jobs, but you should just be giving more so that our church is able to be fine.
Well, this is like, isn't this like the whole idea of why we started this show? Like this whole like staircase. To,
Oh my!
like, these-
It's a callback.
I mean, really, it's like, okay, the way that church worked 100 years ago, or how we were able to fund this thing or accomplish this mission in our towns looks different now. If we want to be like faithful stewards of the mission that God has given us, we have to constantly go, okay, how do we honor you with what you've given us? Is it to continue? Economics have changed. Like, like the world has changed. And like, I think that's whether people are listening, agree or disagree with some of the things you brought up. Like, I think it's healthy to at least consider, like, are we being wise and are we being wise and effective? Are we being like shrewd in how we're doing this work?
He talks a lot about stewardship in the Bible is not just like protecting what we have. And there's a lot of churches that now like are declining, but they're very proud. They own their building, they have an endowment, and they can just stick around.
Yeah.
And he's like, the steward who the master in Jesus' parable had
Who
one
buries his
talent,
coin?
and he
Oh.
just buried it in the ground and protected his one.
Yeah, but we have $1 million endowment,
Exactly.
Noah.
You're protecting in the ground when what you're supposed to do is to use it to double it.
Well, Jesus might say, "Why didn't you just put it in a bank to collect interest?" So he does say that.
Like, he's into
Yeah, he's not.
better.
He's not anti-endowment.
That's better than
As long
don't
as
know.
you're getting
Maybe
3%
kind of
return.
the least common.
Yeah.
I think he was like, you cut out at least.
at least have an endowment.
But like
Dude.
he's talking about just like right now the church in North America is so wealthy, we have so much, and are we going to steward and maximize it for the poor, for the needy, for the
That's good.
lost?
That's
Yeah.
good.
Or are we just going to try to protect what we have, keep as long as we can in our nice areas where the people make over 60,000 and the church can keep growing for us? Or are we going to steward that for the community that the church can't sustain itself and the gospel's not getting
Yeah.
shared?
Hmm.
That's not good.
No. What's the name of that book again?
The Coming Revolution in Church Economics. And he wrote it in
Jesus
20
Revolution?
It'll be in the show notes.
He wrote it in 2019.
Oh, it's old.
And so it is a little older actually. Like, and it was before COVID. So just
Yeah.
think of how COVID
Oh, yeah.
continues all those kind of
So that man's a
dynamics.
prophet.
Yeah. That made it a profit. Right
He's
there.
making a profit.
Hey,
Hey!
and that's how we land that. Well done. Well, Noah,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing
Thank you for the books.
about that book, and then thank you for giving us books.
And
man.
thank you for being a friend.
Well,
Thank
thank you for being
Thank
a
you
friend.
for being my friend.
I think we've got some food we need to go eat.
Or we
I
got
thought
some.
we were gonna record like 3 more episodes. So you wanna
Oh,
get
don't
on?
tell them.
Oh, yeah.
We'll,
This,
we'll at least pause
if you're
this one.
wondering why in the next 3 episodes we're all wearing very similar outfits,
Let's all change shirts.
Okay.
We'll all switch one to
It's
the other.
getting hot.
All right.
it's getting
Cool.
cold.
Well, it's been a good, just a banter
Yeah, man.
A little bit of banter.
book review style. So, bye guys.
Make good
See ya.
choices.
Staircase nowhere.
I don't know.